there. Welcome to another episode of StarCast. This is Lisa Starr, and I'm coming to you this week with a story from the Middle East, where everyone is going. I was lucky enough a few weeks ago to visit SIRO, the new property in Dubai that is a fitness hotel. And we're lucky to be joined today by Julie Amos, who is the Recovery Lab Manager. Thanks for joining us, Julie.
Thank you so much. Thank you for having me, Lisa. It was lovely to have you in Dubai for your treatments in the recovery lab. And I'm so privileged to be part of your podcast today. Thank you for having me.
Well, thank you. I mean, I think it's such an interesting story that I really wanted listeners to hear about it. So we'll talk more about SIRO, but first let's talk about you, Julie. Tell us a little bit about how you got into hospitality. What was your path?
Yes, it started for me a couple of years ago. Actually, it's 11 years at this time. I started off in Eisen Carsten's Academy in South Africa, and I was a student as a somatologist there. And then straight after that, I went to work on luxury cruise liners, and that was my dream, to go out into the world and to see different countries as well. And I really enjoyed it. I worked with prestigious brands such as Canyon Ranch and Steiner. And that led me to the Middle East, where I've been now for the last 11 years. It's been such a privilege to work for reputable brands such as Emaar, the Muck, and as Marriott, and then also Kirshner, which is based here at SIRO.
So SIRO, SIRO, what does it stand for?
Yes, SIRO stands for, first of all, strength, and I is for inclusivity. Then we also have R for recovery and O for originality. I really believe that everyone that comes to SIRO and also everyone that works here at SIRO lives this acronym. And you can see that on a daily basis.
So the SIRO property is the first of its kind of what is being called a fitness hotel. And rather than me describe it, why don't you elaborate a little bit for listeners on what exactly is a fitness hotel?
Yes, absolutely. So Dubai is very privileged to be the first location actually of SIRO, and it is an integrated fitness and recovery hotel. It's an immersive lifestyle destination to create life-changing experiences in state-of-the-art destinations. Because SIRO is not only planned for Dubai, but also for various other locations globally. And it is essentially creating a community of like-minded individuals to curate and to personalize different experiences based on every person's aspirations individually.
Mm-hmm. So a feature of SIRO is an amazing gym. And when you get off the elevator at the Dubai property, if you turn right, there you are in this amazing gym. And you're like, wait, where am I? Isn't this a hotel? I mean, it's not like any hotel gym I've ever seen.
Absolutely. We are so privileged to see that here in our fitness lab, we call it, we don't even refer to it as a gym. We have different zones. So we have a cardio zone, a strength and functional zone. And then we have something called the experience box, which has dedicated classes that takes place on an hourly basis. And then also a cycling studio.
And how many square meters is that fitness area?
So in total, both floors, the fitness lab and the recovery lab is 2,000 square meters. So we can say it's about 1,000 square meters each.
So for non-European listeners, that's about 22,000 square feet. So it's quite large.
Large space, yes.
So if this property is housed in a building that also is a home to a one and only hotel, also owned by Kersner. And I'm sure there are residences and other components of the building, but you find your way to SIRO on the 30th floor. Let's talk a little bit about the reception experience.
Oh, yes. When you come down, first you will arrive there at the 30th floor and you find yourself at something that we call a starting block. And this is essentially the area where you do your check-in. But then also the SIRO application allowed you to actually not have a traditional check-in if that is not your choice. You can directly do the check-in online on the application and proceed straight to your room. So then essentially we have the 30th floor, which is the reception area where you arrive. There's also a refuel bar where you have a selection of different smoothies and protein bars and different other snacks that's available and freshly made on a daily basis. And we also have an in-house nutritionist that could do a consultation with you and do a body analysis as well at the same time. So it's really fully functional and integrated throughout all the different levels.
I love that you have a nutritionist here all. In fact, we're speaking with her and she will be heard later on this podcast.
Well,
But how many hotels have a nutritionist? Anyway, I did, when I arrived, I wasn't clear where to check in because it doesn't look traditional. It looks more clubby. And I'm sure that's intentional.
absolutely. Absolutely, it is. And as you would have seen also, just after the check-in area to your left, there is a designated area called the Collective. And this is where we host different workshops on a weekly basis. We aim to have three every week. And this, forms part of the culture of SIRO to bring together like-minded individuals from the recovery and essentially well-being community.
So, what are some examples of workshops? Like, what are the speaking topics?
Oh, it'll really include all of the parts of SIRO. So SIRO is based on five different pillars, which is essentially fitness, recovery, nutrition, sleep, and also mindfulness. So there are so many topics that we cover in our workshops. Nutrition is just one of them. Sleep is a very hot topic at the moment. As you know, a lot of people, with the working pace of today, struggle with insomnia. Then also gut health, we're looking into that as well, links together with nutrition at the same time. So that space that we call the collective really is a all-compassing area where we will have a variety of different talks on so many different topics.
Well, sleep, obviously, it's what you come to a hotel to do at the end of the day. I mean, in spite of all the other amenities. So it's very good to get a good sleep. I felt like the quality of the bed, the sheets, the pillows, it was all very comfortable.
I'm so glad that you enjoyed it. And that is there for a reason. We really focus on sleep as a part of recovery as well. And for that reason, we have our thermoregulated mattresses that you were able to experience firsthand. And I'm so glad that you enjoyed the technology in the room. That is really what makes us stand out as a CIRO location.
So these mattresses adjust to your body heat and make sure you don't overheat in the night.
Absolutely, absolutely, they do. And so many of our guests describe it as, sleeping as if you're on a cloud, as if you're floating. And it really can take you into a much deeper level of sleep, which restores and recovers you.
hmm I love the fitness sort of cabinet in the room with the accessories in it too. That was really nice. But with the fitness lab like you have on the 30th floor, it seems a shame not to use that.
Exactly. You can also do your workout in the room. It just depends on your schedule and what the different guests will prefer. But that is exactly why our fitness kit is available there. So you can just go ahead and do your workout in the room. There is a projector with different classes available for you as well. Not sure if you tried it out, but if
Oh,
you
I didn't
haven't,
have a
then
chance to try it
you
out. I
should.
have to come back for that.
And
So,
also the yoga blocks. So there is a
mm,
variety of different exercises that you can do. And also the yoga ball was there. Um, so that allows you so much freedom. If you don't feel like coming down to the fitness lab, you can just do your workout in the room.
well, that's the essence of bringing wellness to the guest today, right? I mean, making it unavoidable. Like there's no excuse for you not to do something for your body when you have all those tools at your disposal.
Yes.
Um,
And making movement part of your lifestyle.
Right,
Yes.
right. Making it easy. So let's talk about the 31st floor. You enter on the 30th floor, but you have, for one thing, a stairway up to the 31st floor, which I love not having to take the elevator.
Yeah. Yes, it's really beautiful. And you know what? Most of our guests, they come back with the same feedback that they really enjoy going up the stairs. And then, as you've seen, it's beautifully illuminated with these
Mhm.
different lights. You go up as well. So it's almost like you're going on a path of discovery into the recovery lab.
Mhm. So the recovery lab, your word for the spa, how did it come to be called that?
So recovery lab then is a very essential part of, keeping up a training ritual and essentially with our different athletes, or maybe if you don't even exercise every day, SIRO is for everybody. You need essentially to be able to recover. But if you are an athlete and you need to recover fast before your next game or before your next performance, these recovery elements that we have available can help you to improve your performance and also recover faster.
Mhm.
So that is all part of the biohacking that we offer here at
I
Cyro.
like the approach. I mean, it has elements of traditional spa, but it has other elements too. So, Julie, why don't you describe for us what do you have on the recovery lab floor? What are the components of that?
Yes, we have 10 different dedicated rooms as recovery experiences. And it is a combination of holistic and cutting edge therapies. So, for holistic, we have hands on treatments like our modular massage, which is created by Proverb. We work together with Proverb to create that. And then we have a skin workout as well, all perfectly designed to fit in with the fitness element then as well. Then we have percussive therapy, compression therapy, dry needling is there as well, and IV therapy. And these are being performed as part of our cutting edge therapies in the same time. So it's really a combination of cutting edge therapies, which involves technology. In the case of the sound and vibration therapy, and also the cryotherapy that we offer. But then we also have holistic treatments. So it really depends if you prefer a hands on treatment um, for that day or that recovery process, or if you prefer more of technology based treatments like compression boots or the percussive therapy that we do with Theragun.
And you have an MLX table from Gariani as well as the Wellnamis, right? For the sound
Yeah,
and
we have.
vibration. And so, in the 10 treatment rooms, how many of those are for holistic treatments versus, technology treatments?
Yes. So six of them is really focused on holistic therapies.
Mhm,
And then the other four are all dedicated treatment rooms that we call them. So only one specific therapy would be able to be performed in that room.
mhm. And then there are other components on the floor as well, right, Julie?
Oh, yes. We have a beautiful thermal and hydro facility, which is a combination of hot and cold therapies, perfect to use as part of your recovery process with contrast therapy. So there is an infrared sauna, there is a steam room, and also a cold plunge pool, and a tepidarium chair where you can relax before and after, and even in between your experiences.
Mhm.
And aside from the thermal and hydro facilities, we also have a Zen room. It's personally one of my favorite areas in the recovery lab because the Zen room is where you digitally disconnect. You can read and journal, you can even fall asleep or use our integrated and multisensory recovery pod, which is inside. But it's essentially an area just to switch off and
I
relax.
love that recovery pod. I used that. And it's so easy.
All
You sit
right.
back, there's a screen, you interact, you want to have a nature scene or music, and it was really fun.
Yes, and it really allows you to choose and to personalize your selection for your relaxation of that day. For example, you can do a guided meditation, or you can choose with the VR experience to travel over Alaska. So it really can add another level of personalization to each and every visit.
And of course, you have full locker rooms for male and female as well.
We have the full locker rooms for male and female, and then also our recovery lounges on the male and female side as well.
So let's talk about the staffing of the recovery lab. Given that you've got 10 treatment rooms, but you have equipment in some that doesn't require so much hands on, labor. Have you changed the staffing model at all for SIRO?
Not much. It's still very similar compared to the traditional spa staffing model. In the area where we still have people escorting you throughout the entire journey. Even though we as Cyro, we try to be as sustainable as possible, but when it comes to the recovery process, it is still very similar to the traditional spa manning structure, where we have different assistants for you available from the arrival to the departure, escorting you through each and every journey. And in addition to that, I would say here and there, we find even that we add a couple of additional staff, especially because we have the cold experiences. And when you have someone trying your cold experiences like cryotherapy or cold plunge pool for the first time, you want to make sure that you have someone right there coaching them and guiding them through that experience.
Especially for that cryotherapy. You have a very nice unit from Art of Cryo, if I'm correct. And, it's hard. I'd never like being cold. So having someone there to like coach me to stay in the full 3 or 4 minutes is really helpful.
Absolutely. And, we've had so many success stories, and it's such a privilege to be part of that, where someone is initially so frightened of the experience just before they go into cryotherapy, but then how excited and victorious they feel straight after they've done it. It's beautiful for us also as part of Cyro to be part of that entire experience.
Mhm. No, it really is. It's full of innovation and experiences which will be new for everyone who comes. Do you expect the hotel to have more business travel or leisure travel? What's the focus?
In terms of location, we are beautifully located in the middle and the heart of downtown Dubai, with the World Trade Center right next to us as well, and the DIFC located very close to the hotel. It is really suitable for all business travelers, and we see a very high occupancy of business travelers, but it's also perfect for leisure. Being the first vertical resort, we have all of the facilities for leisure and relaxation as well, and even for families.
Mhm. No, it does seem that will cater to most people. Now, how about a pool? Like, do you just use the pool for one and only? Is that how that works?
Yes, yes, we have the one and only pool that our guests have access to, the Tapasaki pool, the beautiful one that you saw, from
Amazing.
6 o'clock in the morning until 10 a.m. But then there is actually another pool on the fourth floor, the garden pool, and that is open to use during all of the time that our
Mhm.
Saro guests are here.
So, how about locals and members? Is there a plan for you to have a membership program?
Absolutely. And we already have a membership program in place that's been very successful. In fact, we had so many members call up when we opened to be part of the Cyro membership.
Oh,
So we've
really?
seen a lot of success with that. And, as the I for Cyro stands for inclusivity,
Uh-huh.
we don't only focus on the local clientele. We have a very large mix of different nationalities,
Mhm.
Dubai residents, and even some people who are not Dubai residents who's already
Right.
signed up.
Right. Well, I would think it would be compelling. I mean, once you see it, you want to go there. I mean, I definitely would want to be a member there. It's nicer than most places that are only a fitness place, not just a hotel. So I think you'll have great success with that. How are guests responding so far?
Very good. We're having a very, very positive response, and it's extremely popular. We already have the second Syro coming up, launching this year in Montenegro, Boca Palace,
Mhm.
and we already are looking at a very long lineup of other Syros opening up globally and internationally.
That's very exciting. And so far, Julie, what's been the most popular service on the Recovery Lab menu?
Oh, that's really hard to say. I would say all of them. All of them have been so popular. One of the ones that I can highlight definitely has to be the cryotherapy. I think the cold treatments and the contrast therapy is very trendy at the moment. So some people come specifically to try the cryotherapy as well, but they just end up adding on so many of the other services. So it's quite hard to say. They've all been very popular.
Well, I can see why. It's really just a beautiful and unique place, and I look forward to returning and seeing more SIROs in other parts of the world for sure.
Thank you. We look forward to having you back very soon.
Thank you, Julie. Thanks for joining us. Julie Amos, Recovery Lab Manager at the world's first fitness hotel.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Lisa.
Hello. So we are here with Hiro Shagnani. She is a nutritionist at the SIRO Hotel here in Dubai. This is the first SIRO in the world, and it has been open, what, 2 weeks?
Absolutely. It's very, very nascent.
So Hiro was actually trained in the U.S. and has done further training, I'm sure, in nutrition. And she's put together an amazing nutrition program here at SIRO as one of the pillars of the brand. So would you care to tell us, Hiro, a little bit about your journey into this role you have right now?
Well, it's been nothing less than an entire roller coaster getting into hospitality. I started off in a very clinical environment because, of course, to become registered dietitian in the States, you have to be in a hospital for at least 9 to 10 months. You need to have a lot of outpatient experience dealing with all sorts of disease states, including, cardiology, oncology, kidney disease, general nutrition consultation, women's health, pediatric nutrition, geriatric nutrition, so working in a long-term care facility, you can imagine. And I was in San Diego, so beautiful place to be getting trained. And you get exposed to a lot of clinical, scientific knowledge as a potential training. But I always had a deep interest in culinary nutrition. Holistic nutrition, which unfortunately in the academic world you don't really get taught that as much. It's when you go out there and work, you get to really learn more about these aspects of nutrition. So I gravitated more towards F&B once I finished my training. I worked in cloud kitchens. I worked for Kitobi, one of the biggest cloud kitchen companies in the UAE. And then I worked for a company that produced flavors and fragrances for food. So I was on their panel when we were working on, investigating flavors that would work for the UAE market. So I guess that just added to my experience and understanding of food, product development, something again very intriguing because the world of nutrition and supplements and products, protein bars and snacks, is obviously very relevant. So I dabbled in that a bit as well. And then we went on to just, do a bit of freelancing. That was something that I really wanted to do. Have my own time, have my own space to learn. So then I was freelancing for some time. And of course, that gives you so much space to learn more and read more books and be updated on nutrition, which as a dietitian, it's never ending.
Right.
You just keep going on and on and on. And to keep reading journals, to keep reading the latest research. And in that process, I just stumbled upon this opportunity at SIRO.
But you'd never worked in hospitality?
Never.
Wow.
But the funny thing is that I was telling my hotel manager when I was joining, I was telling him the story when I was younger. And I was in Dubai as a child, right? I've been to so many luxury hotels as a child. That's the essence of Dubai. And I was one day walking one and only, Royal Mirage, one of their other properties. And I was walking along the corridors and I was saying, someday I would be dressed very chic and I would be walking along these corridors and I would have a cute little office of my own where I would be doing something relatively important. I didn't know what it would be. And cut to 2024, 2023 actually when I joined. I'm part of the group that was one and only. And I have a beautiful office where I can do incredible work and impact people's lives. So I guess somewhere the instincts to be in hospitality were deep rooted, but it just got manifested at this
Well, it's perfect. And it's funny because not many hotels hire a nutritionist.
Exactly.
I can't think of another hotel that has a nutritionist on. I mean, maybe in the kitchen, but not in your role. So tell us a little bit about your job here, what you've had to do. I mean, when did you come on board?
I joined in September. I wish I joined earlier.
Right.
Because I joined at a point when we were quite deep into a lot of things, and I had to work my way through, and
So 6 months before opening.
6 months before opening. So, I mean, imagine if I had a year, I would have been a lot more, deeply involved in so many more aspects. But I guess with the time I had, we've really done wonders with getting things in place. Because of an incredible culinary team that I've worked extensively with. So we can start up talking about that because my first focus, since the guests weren't here, I had to focus on service provision. I could focus on developing the menus. And the interesting thing about SIRO, especially SIRO 1 Zavil, is that we have a shared service system. We're sharing the same operational services as one and only.
So your kitchens and your resources are shared.
Are shared. So we had to really smartly utilize what we have and come up with a menu that's as comprehensive, but at the same time doesn't, stress out the operational team. Which is why on our menus you will see we have our modular concept embedded as well within the menu, where you can select ingredients and come up with your own bowl. So we have a variety of proteins, variety of veggies, grains, dressings, extra goodness, nuts, chia seeds, maca powder, whatever you're looking for, we have that flexible aspect to our menu as well. Which is not too complicated because you just have to keep the ingredients at hand and they can prep it as needed. So it's not like we had to have so many recipes. The idea was to give the guest the option to build their own meal. So if you have a consultation with me, ahead of your stay, you can actually have a customized meal plan made for yourself as well, which is something, again, I really highly doubt anybody, makes it happen in the world. So yes, if you were to have a session with me 24 hours in advance of your visit, or let's say you do arrive and you're staying for a few days, as long as you give me 24 hours, I can actually make a customized meal plan for you. So based on your life requirements, your preferences, of course, keeping in mind allergies and tolerances, we can actually design a whole day's meal plan, breakfast, lunch, dinner with snacks, as many calories as you need, as much protein as you need, carbs, fat, and other micronutrients. We can design something that's very specialized and suits your needs exactly.
That's amazing. So if I were here for a few days, I could say, I need to be paleo or I'm vegan or I don't like X or Y, and you would make multiple meals.
Exactly. Multiple meals, as many as you need. It just depends on what you're looking for. And that's what we mean when we say live without compromise. When you're traveling, you don't need to deviate from your health goals, your diet goals. You can still stay true to it while you're with us. And that's how we make it possible by offering the specific sites.
Now, something else that I wanted to ask you about was your interaction with guests. I mean, do guests ever meet with you directly while they're here? And how does that happen?
Absolutely. You don't have to book a proper session and get the meal plan. It doesn't have to be the whole shebang. You could just, book a discovery session with me just to walk in, chat, have a few questions in your mind that you can ask me, do a quick body composition scan, and I can just guide you through your stay at SIRO, guide you through the F&B experience. It doesn't have to be the full-fledged nutrition consult. And that's why I'm here. I'm available for guests to even just, pick my brain, questions that they have.
Interesting.
And that's a service we love to offer our guests, so they really get a bit of a nutrition pillar without having to go too deep into it.
So how will a guest know that you are available for this?
When you walk in, we have our front office agents. They will let you know about what services we offer, and my office is placed right on the 30th floor, where guests walk around. They can buy coffee at the refill bar. So I'm literally just, a few
Right by
steps.
reception. That's awesome.
Yeah.
So let's explain, like when today my first arrival at a SIRO, the reception is different than a typical hotel. It's actually the refueling bar and there's food around already, but SIRO doesn't have a restaurant like where you sit down and eat. You share that facility with one and only. So the food that you're supplying is what people might want when they come in and grab a workout or the whole smoothie menu. So it's sort of a different orientation, right?
Different orientation. We have the smoothie menu where you have a range of shakes, signature shakes, first classic beverages. We will have some power bites, made with dried fruits and nuts without any gunk or any preservatives. Since we don't have a restaurant, we've put in a vending machine in the main lounge area, so you can grab some nice meal, warm it up.
And let me add that this is not a vending machine. That it's a beautiful wall built where you press a screen and you see the food and pictures of it, and it's very nicely presented.
I guess the correct word is intelligent fridge. That's
a
what we've
good
been trained to say versus vending machine, because when you say the word vending machine, people get a very typical image in their minds. But intelligent fridge is what it truly is.
Mm-hmm.
So I guess that's the alternative to not having a restaurant.
So you came in and said, okay, these are the foods we need, and you developed the recipes for all the smoothies, and there are many.
Correct. We, of course, not just me, we have an excellent team working in tandem with me. We have our beverage manager of the property, one and only. He was very supportive. People who didn't even have a background in, we call it Shakeology, who they had more of a background in mixology, they came on board to help because we had to come up with recipes that were unique, but also had some traditional flavors. So you will see a classic recovery nut shake with peanut butter and cacao, but you will also see, a tahini fig shake with orange blossom water, something that's very Middle Eastern inspired. So you can imagine the creativity going into each of the recipes.
Well, I like the way you've broken up the smoothie menu. Can you describe sort of the way you've segmented the options?
Correct. So we're partnering with a brand called Innermost. It's a UK-based protein supplement brand. And they inherently had 4 categories to their protein powders. One for muscle and strength, one for fat loss, one for performance and recovery, and one for general good health or immunity boosting properties. And so we got quite inspired by that segregation. We ourselves wanted to do something like that. But you see the synergy that came in? When you find good partners, it really inspires what you do too. So we decided let's just categorize our shakes into this manner as well. And the recipes were built in that way, incorporating the benefits of each of those founders with their respective I would say co-ingredients. Some of them have magnesium, some of them have, reishi mushrooms. So you can imagine the variations.
Well, it's really a great approach because this is a new world. It's still, right? I've been drinking protein smoothies for several years, but they're still evolving. And in the U.S., you might still go somewhere to get a smoothie and it's full of banana or pineapple to make it sweet, but you don't want that sugar.
Yeah.
And finding something that's vegetable-based is harder, and you've made them look very interesting.
That's what I personally know, because as a dietitian, you deal with some very picky eaters. And you have to find a way to get people to eat their veggies. I guess that's the most, it's the core of what we do as dietitians, get you to eat veggies and fruits in a way that it's palatable, in a way that it's digestible. And so these concoctions are our attempts to make that happen easier for people.
So SIRO has 5 brand pillars?
Yes.
And nutrition is one.
Certainly. And I guess becoming one of the very important ones with each passing day, because like you said, we're realizing that people do need a special eating space. A restaurant is a critical part of our operations. So in future, with the silos opening across the world, we will definitely try to have a restaurant there as well.
Can you speak to nutrition and how it impacts in the guest room? I went into my room today and opened my drawers, and there are all kinds of fun things that healthy and fun. I had a sparkling cucumber mint sparkling water. So did you help in the selection of those items as well?
When people think, what is a nutritionist doing in a hotel, right? Besides the obvious things I just described, it is the mini bar, which is a huge component of the guest experience. And when I joined, I didn't think, oh, this is something that I should put my time into. But it really is a critical part of the guest experience. And basically, we turned around the mini bar. You would expect Skittles, M&M, sodas, potato chips.
Nothing good for you.
Nothing good for you. But this is a revelation. I think we really, really invested in finding products that are a good mix and match. You saw we have some complimentary protein bites, vegan protein bites. We have some snack bars, we were whole ingredients, peanut butter, dark chocolate. We also have coconut sugar. I don't know if you noticed that. I mean, it's very rare to see.
It is very rare. Yeah. So for your hot beverage, you could add coconut sugar. Wow. Now I've never seen that in a hotel.
Exactly. And you can imagine sourcing those ingredients. I think when it's there, we don't realize what goes behind getting those ingredients into, a space like this. But because you're so niche, we had to find a supplier who would give us those items. Because we knew, I anticipated that people would ask for these ingredients. It's an unrefined sugar. It's popular these days. People would rather have that over white sugar. So we had to keep everything for the wellness enthusiast.
Well, the other thing I think must have been a challenge for you, Hero, was that this is new. No one's done this.
No one has.
So you couldn't have any sense of how would people react?
Correct.
What would clients want? I mean, and you're only 2 weeks in, but what's your sense so far? Are people coming that live here that want to join? Are you seeing more transit business? And what are people's reactions?
It's an interesting mix, actually. I think since we opened, visitors, of course, incidentally, our opening coincided with a Gulf food exhibition. It's one of the biggest expos in the world for food producers, anybody in the F&B space, right across us. So like just a hop away.
Where I just went to the ATM.
Right, exactly. That's it. And it was a huge marketplace in every category, be it poultry, grains, innovative products, beverages. There was something in every category. So we had visitors from there coming, walking to our space. Interesting conversations happened. A lot of intrigue about what we do. So that was a good, good integration in this past week. Our members have been very curious about testing out a biohacking device. We use Tekka True, which is a gold standard device. So they come to see me, have their first discovery session. So little baby steps of investigating our services. Of course, we had groups of guests, and in-room dining was being used a lot. Really positive response to the build your own board concept. Again, which hotel offers?
No, none.
I haven't seen it either. You always have to pick from what's there.
Right.
So a lot of positive response on those little aspects that we've been working on. So overall, I feel like there's curiosity and appreciation of what we're trying to do.
Well, Hero, it'll be great to see how it evolves. Thanks for talking with us.